Boom. All right. So basically what I want to do is try to build on a little bit what we did last time. That being said, after looking at the surveys and stuff, I know you've used this a lot more than they have. So I'm going to try to break it up to where you have a little bit different stuff going on with compared to them, and they can work together. And then as they're working together, me and you can kind of work together a little bit too. Okay. So if you haven't, go ahead and get on track interactive achievement. And it's your DCPS password on DCPS.org. Of course, I can get on COLFECPS. Okay. All right. So I am going to kind of start from the beginning. Last time when we met, we did like adding kids to classes and whatnot, but today is going to be focused on a few things. First of all is why we're doing this. Why are we doing this? I realize we haven't started making common tests for our group yet just because of the new SOLs that are coming out. But you know, hopefully after we get done doing this today, it will at least see the value in common testing and the conversations that come out of common testing. So I want to make sure that this is easier for you. I want to make sure that it accelerates grading for you. I want to make sure that you're comfortable with creating tests. I want to make sure you understand the TEI questions that are going to be on the SOL. So being able to make your own test, do those things. You're a little bit more advanced, so we're going to move a little bit different pace with you. But make sure that this stuff is valuable to you. Because I really believe after using it a whole semester, the way it can simulate the SOL and the questions that you can get from it, it's a good tool. So when you come here, just a quick review. You have assessment library at the top, testing center, interventions, reporting, and admin. The three things you're going to use a lot are assessment library, testing center, and reporting. So basically what I want to start doing is just creating a test. We're not going to do a quick key. We're going to use everything that is already on here for us. So click on assessment library. And if anybody gets stuck or starts spinning, you know how the internet is, just let me know.
Boy, for goodness sake.
Is it working?
It didn't connect.
It didn't connect to the internet? Oh, wait a minute, because I pulled you from a direct plug, right?
Well, no, I mean, I was logged on, then it cut me.
I'm spinning.
Oh my gosh.
For gosh sakes. That is so bad. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. I mean, mine was working just a second ago.
Mine was working fine until I clicked.
You know how it is.
I do.
I mean, we just got logged in.
Unable to.
I'm just going to pause this.
Yep.
Right, that's true. It is true.
Waste.
Why start doing this? No, you're good. You're fine. All right, so in assessment library, this is where we're going to build our test. So in the location, it has to say Dinwiddie County Public Schools if it doesn't already. And then in subject, you've got to pick the subject that you're going to make a test in. Because we all teach VUS history this semester, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. So let's all work out of that. Let's go to history, and then drop down VUS. Is everybody there? Okay. Now, as soon as you do that, on the left side it populates. Is there a way to condense your screen a little bit?
Just function negative.
Function negative, yeah.
Function negative. I don't even know what that means. What's negative?
Negative is next to the zero.
Oh, okay.
Or is it control negative? I'm sorry.
Control.
Control negative. I'm sorry. Oh.
All right. Well, y'all can see it. I don't need to be able to see it as much.
I'm good.
Or hit control, do this, hit control 0, see what that does. Now that made it too big.
Yeah, it's just cut off on the side.
We're good.
All right. So, anyways, on the left side, you're going to have a couple things that populate. You have items that automatically populates. It shows you the SOL straight down the page. Is that correct? Is that what y'all see? All right. Now at the bottom, if you all click on it, it says exams. Go ahead and open that up. In the exam file, you will see where it says common assessments or quizzes. If you click on those, click on one, either one's fine. you will see what common assessments have been made for all of VUS history in our school, which is basically everything I made. I think Jennifer's made a thing or two, but most of this stuff is what I made based off the pacing I use a little bit. Now, this is me, but this is also would be a good opportunity if someone looked at that and said, hey, I teach 2 and 3 and then teach 4 and 5 together because it flows better. You know, that'd be a good conversation for us to have because maybe it does work because there is a ton of information within those 3 SOL units. But again, being able to just look at common assessments and start that conversation is part of why we're using this program. So to create a test, I just wanted you to see that you have tests available, but to create a test, over here, beside favorites, it says new exam. So go ahead, everybody hit new exam. And we're going to create an exam. So just name it, you can just do practice McCool, practice Bevel, practice Pearson. I'm going to practice Hill. Alright, we don't want to quick key. If you quick key it, based off this stuff, this is what we did last time. You quick key, that's where you go in and actually enter your own answers. That's from exams you've had stored away in your locker or whatever. Alright, but from there you need to select the exam category. The 2 you're going to pick is either common assessment where you give your test or quizzes. So everybody just do quizzes because there's a lot less in there. It'll be easier for it to find. So quizzes, and then subjects, you got to find your standard again. So it's Virginia standards, Virginia 2010. History, and then, you know, VUS. You just double click on it, or you can hit the arrow and it'll send it across. So when you do that, you will hit select. Is everybody good there? Alright, then we're going to create, so just hit create. Now, before everybody does anything, I'm going to show Jennifer, since you know exactly what we're doing, this is where I'm going to kind of let you do something different for yourself. Alright, if you look up here, you see where it's blue. Did y'all hit create?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Okay, there they are. They just populated. See how everything's blue? Mm-hmm. That means it's just kind of in the building phase. No kid can take this test until we put questions in and we submit and approve, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in a second, y'all too, because this is more new for you. Jennifer, since you're already way ahead of us, you know, capability-wise, can you make me a TEI practice question test? All right, and I need at least 5 questions, no more than like 7 for us. Okay, so you're going to be doing that, and then I'll come check on you in a second. All right, now y'all, what I need you to do is click your. Well, actually, just watch me first, and then we're going to let you do it. All right, so I'm going to click practice hail, and I'm going to go up to items, and I'm going to use VUS 4. So VUS 4 has the SOLs A, B, C, and D. All you do to make a test is you open up what you want, you pick what item you want, you double click it, and you drop it over there. Now if you want to see what it is before you drop, you just click this little window and it will show you the question right there. Alright, and you can determine from you know, by yourself if that question seems valid based off the stuff you teach. Again, this is where I think the common assessment stuff is good because I've made tests before and Jennifer's come back and said, I like the test, but I saw 2 items that duplicated. So, you know, that'd be good if she saw that. Coach Bevel used one of the quizzes I made and saw that there was a word that I missed it. It was deserter. He says the word dissenter, which I say too, but I just never recognized it before. So for him being able to recognize that was a big deal. So anyways, I'm going to make a test. I'm going to pick some items. Boom. I'm just going to drag them over here. And then when I'm done, I'm going to go to exam menu. I'm going to submit and approve the test, and that means somebody can take this test now. Does that make sense? All right, so what I need y'all to do while checking on Jennifer is to use your own, to make your own test, no more than 5 questions. You can use any SOL you feel like you want to, but just kind of get a feel for how it works. If you have any questions about what any of these other numbers are, some of them's, you know, it's more to do with Bloom's taxonomy. So, I want to talk a little bit about what each of those mean.
Yeah.
The TIMC here in a second.
Yeah, most of them are TIMC. 5 doesn't.
HS will be the only other one that we see.
Yeah, the SOL 6 doesn't have a lot of TI ones, but I know there's another one. I There was one that had a lot.
Yeah, 4 has some. I went through them.
Was it?
earlier.
Okay.
Alright, so you look like you're doing fine.
Well, I'm trying to, all right, so where am I going to get this?
Okay, so you can go to items here. So your test, yeah, test,
Yeah.
cool. So you pick any SOL, whatever you feel comfortable with. Alright, and then it's broken down into 4 SOL strings. So you can technically go through these and find crap you like. Shows you crap you like. Alright. Now, if it says IA, that means somebody from IA generated the question.
Where do you see that?
On the item analysis right here, where it says IA right there in the little square box, that means somebody from there that they've hired done it, an ex-teacher or somebody like that. If you see where it says SOL 2007, 12, 13, those are exact questions from the SOL, 12, 13, 7, and whatnot, whatever ones have been released.
So it's probably to our advantage to take those right away, right?
I do almost on every one of them, to take the SOL questions right away and then build the rest of my test around it, make sure I try not to duplicate anything. Like for the purpose of this, picking 5 to 10 questions is plenty good. And then, y'all will have more time to sit down and actually build a test that we think makes sense.
Alright, so I got you 6 questions, yep. I got
Whenever
it.
you get that, when you feel comfortable with anywhere between 5 and 10 questions, go ahead and go to exam menu.
And then you'll be submit and approve.
Yep, submit and approve.
So I got you a combination of TI, SH, CR, and MC.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, see, I haven't seen CR. Let me see that. Should have showed you. Just took a second. No.
No, I found a second.
Put that up again. It was gonna come. No, the
At the
extra windows. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There we go.
All right. So this is a
So we got,
speech.
so we got the speech.
Okay. Ooh. Explain. So this is actual critical writing, basically.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if that's going to be on there.
I don't know if it is or not, but the thing.
Delete that one, and let's just talk about it. Delete that one. So go
See,
back and
stuff like the CR ones, that would be good for those of us teaching the AL and AP classes, and that's where this is important.
Exactly. So that's what. Go
So
ahead
that's why
and
I
delete
left
that
that.
for the
Okay.
purpose of this. Delete that, and keep that in mind when we start talking about these, so you can share it. So unapprove, unsubmit. Delete that question.
Cannot access the change.
It didn't let you.
One second.
Should have let you unapprove, unsubmit.
There we
Yeah,
go,
there we
now
go.
it did.
All right, where are TI designated on this?
I'm going to go over those very soon, but TEI that I think that we're going to have are called TEI MC for multiple choice and TEI HS. MC means 6 different, more than 4 choices. So instead of having traditional A, B, C, D, it might be A, B, C, D, E, F. So you have 6 choices. And then you have other ones where it's TEI HS, which basically means it might ask you about John Locke, and you have to pick 4 items out of 6 items that he believed in. If you miss one of them, it's counted wrong. So, do you feel good there?
Mhm.
Have you submitted and approved?
I guess.
Or you're still working? So you're actually working on something you're going to
Yeah,
probably use.
well, I'm gonna check it out and see what it looks
You
like.
don't have to submit and approve it right now.
Okay,
Just
I'll
leave,
follow
just
this.
leave it right there, and then you can keep working here in a second.
Mine's showing in there as submit and approve. So
Yeah,
mine's showing
once it
as
shows submit and approve, like if I come back down here to the exams, see, we've all submitted and approved, coaches hasn't, ours is now black. Again, it means it's ready to go. Does that make sense? All right, now, once you've done this, you've got to be able to create a test session. So let's just go over to the test center.
So
Yours isn't going to delete, Coach. You just leave from there. It's going to say it's already saved everything you've done.
Okay, so go to test center.
Test center up top,
Okay.
and then you can go back in here in a
Okay,
little
got
bit
it.
and finish making yours. And I can hang around with you and make sure it's good. So from there, every time you switch screens, you are going to have to enter the same stuff again. So you got to go to your standards and whatnot. So you need to put in VUS. And then when you get there, we need to pick an exam. So you can go pick the one you made under quizzes. and you would just double click whatever one you made. I'll just put practice here. Okay, is everybody there so far? And coach, you don't have to double click one, you just click any of them. You
Okay.
know? So you click mine, McCool's, you can pick a quiz, anything. Is everybody where I'm at here? Alright, now on the left side, as soon as I clicked one, all 4 of these things populated.
All right, well, they didn't see, so what do I
Mm.
apparently I have to click it, right?
Yeah, you need to, okay, no, right here. You've already, okay, yours didn't populate. Okay, wait a minute, does it just show y'all's? Okay, that's just because of my
Well,
rights.
no, 'cause
Did you
I-
see all mine?
I got, yeah, because I use yours all the time.
Yeah, but you don't see my classes.
No, I don't see your
I
class.
see y'all's classes for some reason. Okay, so the only class you're going to see is this, all right? So even if you would have picked my test, your name is still going to populate right here. So as soon as you do that, you need to double click your name. Like, cool, you only have one class, so you click your name, it's going to drop down, you need to click the history class. Coach Bell, you got 3 classes, so you would have to do this for all 3 of them, okay? But just pick any one you want. And Pearson, you got 2 classes.
Yep.
So, alright. Once you bring it up, and I'm going to bring it up on mine, you're going to click New Test Session. Again, all this stuff is on that paper. I'm going to email it to you. Alright. For the purposes of y'all, because I would imagine that if you're going to give a test, is it going to be paper pencil, or are you going to try to actually get them to the lab?
Paper pencil.
That's what I figured, paper pencil. So, you need to change this right here.
Isn't that
Don't-
what we're all gonna do then? What do you think?
Well, okay,
This is where
I'm
it is.
torn on it right now. Okay, all first semester I did paper pencil, and I loved it because I can just scan it in. I'm gonna show you how I scanned it in, and I was giving their stuff back. We were working on test corrections that day, ready to go. But with the new TEI questions coming up now, you cannot use TEI questions on the test if it's paper pencil because they can't select 5 or 6 answers. So if you're going to use TEI generated questions, you have to do it online. So that's what I was going to say. When you make your test, Jennifer, make sure it's iTest.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I'm doing with some of mine, because like I said, y'all like doing paper pencil.
I don't like anything, I just don't know how we're supposed to do this.
Well,
Challenge is where do you, how do we do the test corrections?
Well, beyond
Yeah,
that, but how do we get them all done? I mean, if everybody's doing this, there's just not enough like that.
There's not enough labs or computers.
that's true. Now,
Because you can't do it on tablets yet,
you
can
can
you?
do it on the iPads. You can do it on the tablets. You can do them.
Their student tablets
Yeah,
are working
no, well,
now?
student tablets, that's if they bring them in. Now, you can get the tablets out of the library, alright? Again, this is something we're talking about paper pencil. I was kind of in y'all's boat, so I did paper pencil. I made my own practice test with nothing but TEI questions, and I put one on the board today for them to see it. So that was my way of around not scheduling a lab. But for the first time, like last week, I gave a test, and I used a lab for the first time, just for them to get the feel. The benefit of the lab is if you're putting a bunch of SOL questions and they're sitting on a computer taking it, you're simulating what they're going to be doing later.
Look, you know me, I'd rather do it live, I'd rather do it on their phone. But it's just, we've got, talking to the camera,
No, you're good.
we've got way too many classes, way too many people. All right, so now what are you doing for your absent kids?
My absent kids, I print. You can still, even if you do an eye test.
Yeah, that
You-
the purpose is the TEI. and
Right.
that's what I'm saying, what are you doing for your absent kids?
Well, this is what I do. Is you can go get an iPad, just check out one at a time, and give it to them when they come in, and just let them do it. Now, I know it's frustrating, and you're right that like this stuff can be great if the technology is, we have the opportunity to get in the labs and whatnot. But like you said, that's the frustrating part. So to eliminate that, I went paper pencil, put TEI up here, talk about it, go through it, let them see it, let them practice it together. Even though it's probably not ideal, you would want them doing it by themselves, but at least it's something.
But again, remember what we are supposed to do is probably us 4. We're supposed to give up that week in June and make all the tests for everybody for the year. So we're gonna have to make a determination of whether we include them or we don't include them. If we include them,
We gotta figure
then
it out.
everything's gotta be done online.
Right.
If we don't include them, then we've
Right.
gotta come up with some other practice way. And I mean, but the problem is that who's making that decision?
Fair question. Fair question. All that ends up going up over the head for that. But you're exactly right. So, Frustrating. I mean, there's ways around it, but it's not, like you said, if we're going to make our test in June, then we're going to, we're going to have to make that decision. Is everybody going to be able to get to a lab? Is all the iPads all going to work? If not, we can't do it that way.
Well, in here now, all right, so here I go again. So
You're
in
fine.
June, are we making a G-level set of tests, a C-level set of tests, a AL level set of tests, and an AP level set of tests? And in theory, that's what we're supposed to do.
I would say no. And let me just,
then
for
change
argument's sake, is my G-level kids and your advanced kids take the same SOL. Now, if you want to add more in-depth stuff to them, maybe that's something you give them extra on the side. But my kids, no matter what level they are, we're taking the same SOL test. Not saying that that's the right way to do it, but if we got to make common test, then, SOL's the SOL.
The theory here, hear me?
It's
The
good.
theory here, again, when I was at Manchester, we had 23 teachers in the department, okay? If you've got 23 teachers, and you remember Cloverdale was like that,
Yeah.
what you end up with is you've got 6 sections of C, 6 sections of H, we don't have that.
Right.
We've got 1 section of this, we've got 2 sections of that, this type of thing. And this is just impractical for a system this size to do that.
At least for common sense. I completely understand what you're saying. I'm just saying if it comes down to us, they come in and say, this is what we have to do.
No, but this is what we have to do.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess the question is, I'm not giving my G-level kids anything more than SOL.
Well, I understand that, but again, so I give my AL kid your G-level test. First of all, once they figure, it's just not challenging enough, is the point. It's not challenging.
Well, I mean, is there ways around that? I guess you ask. Well, I understand what y'all are saying, but I mean, the SOL questions are challenging enough for everybody in the spring. It's got the same SOL questions. So is there other ways around it?
Because your AL class had how many failed their SOL last spring? 0.
Right.
All right, and the same thing with me. You had to get 2 ALs and maybe one of the whole group failed, and that child shouldn't have been in there. All right, so the same thing with me. Even if I don't even review for the SOLs for my AL class or her AP class, those kids are going to get 550s to 600. And so the thing is, again, here we go. Are we reducing it to the lowest common denominator and taking the AP kid and just dumbing him down to where there's no point in him doing any of this stuff?
Right. I mean, I guess, again, to me, it makes sense exactly what you're saying. I don't know if there's a way around it. I don't know if on top of doing this stuff that Randy needs, the data that he needs from this, if we take the same test and there's extra stuff added to it, if there's essay work to go with it, I don't know how y'all function with that. But at the end of the day, they're going to come back to us and say, look at this stuff. That's the stuff we got to talk to them about. All right. So, but if they come back and still say this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. All right. Well, we'll discuss it a little bit more, I'm sure. If y'all over here, I need y'all to switch this to paper pencil. So you're going to drop down to paper pencil. And as soon as you do that, there's nothing else really for you to do. Just hit create test session. Jennifer, have you not done yours yet?
I'll do it. Give me 1 sec.
All right.
I was trying to pull up one other thing.
All right. Now, if I am doing the eye test, if you look back up here on the screen, if you are going to do it online, you have 2 things. You are 3 options: randomized question order, randomized passage order, and randomized answer order. So if you really feel like people are going to be looking off each other's stuff, you can do this. I don't mess with it. I just leave it be, because at the end of this, I'm still going to print my test and still allow them to do test corrections. If everything's all randomized, you can't do that. So, but if you feel like you needed to, you can check these boxes. All right. So, have you already created your test session in paper pencil?
Mine's done in my test.
Okay. So on paper pencil, as soon as you create a test session, this new test session button comes up. Correct?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and click it.
Click.
Click new test session.
Maybe I've already clicked.
You maybe have. Maybe has your guys populated? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you guys are populated. These are your kids on your roster. Now, if a kid started the year on your roster and they dropped, they still might show up right there. We can delete them later. But from here, paper, pencil, and I'm not going to make y'all do this, but if you just hit menu, print all bubble sheets, this is the same stuff we've done for our pre-post test. Y'all probably done that at least once or twice, right? All right, so I brought something with me to make our lives a little easier. Once you do paper, pencil, and they've taken a paper, pencil quiz, you got two things you can do, and it totally depends on your technology. How modern is your cell phone? And does it work? All right. This is what the sheet looks like. You've seen it before. All you do is scan across. I'm going to scan it and let you see what it looks like. As soon as I scan it, this pops up, shows me exactly what they didn't fill in, ready to go. All I do is hit send, and it's in my computer. Now, if you saw, Coach McCool has a new cell phone, but every time we open it up, it freezes. So, that might not work. We have to go to the copier. They go to the copier, and we got to scan them in. When we scan them in, it will send it right to your X drive. I have directions on how to do that on here, and I'll happily show you, like, if you're going to use this test tomorrow, Coach, you're going to use your test, I'll show you how to do it, meet you in there, okay? As soon as you send it off, I've yet to do it, but I had another teacher do it, and she sent it off in the middle of one period, and it was already back in the computer the same period. So I'm not sure exactly what the turnover is, if it's 10 minutes, if it's 15, but it is in there within that day, definitely within that period, which I think, is good. It's not as, I wouldn't imagine it's as fast as a cell phone, but there it is. All right? So you good there? Do y'all understand what we're doing there? Okay? All right. Now, so we're going to go on to the eye test, so you can see what it's like for a kid to take an eye test. Okay? Just so if you decide to do it, you're ready to roll. Anybody have any questions so far? All right, just open up these, and as soon as you open it up, it should pop up. Find the eye test app. I'm just going to touch that app right there. It says eye test. You just scan it over. They keep popping right there. Just hit cancel. It's the hit cancel. Eye test. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Oh, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. All right. So communication error, of course. Hitch.
I'll keep doing it until we get there.
Is y'all's working? You're saying communication error is because the internet went out? Hers is working. Of course. This is. I checked them earlier and they were all working about the video.
She's closer. I mean, I can't believe this little bit would make a difference.
I'll make sure you have it here either way. Give y'all a second. You can keep doing what you're doing. Let me put
Let it be noted that I've tried to get it 25 times.
Oh, you took it today, I haven't scanned it in.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'll be right back, I gotta scan one of these in.
So if we mess with her computer, it'll be on film, so we can't.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Teacher, I can't have.
Sure.
Alright. So, basically I want you to be able to see what a kid sees. Now, if you're using an iPad, it should be that simple as just opening the app. Okay? If you're not using an iPad, you have to use like a computer lab. You have to go to interactiveachievement.com. If they type in eye test in Google, it's going to not work, because it's going to take them to an eye test in like Louisiana or somewhere, and it won't recognize the kid's login. But basically, I'm going the computer way to get to where you're at by just using the app. So you got to find the state, you got to find your division, and you got to hit eye test. So it's going to take you to the same stuff y'all just went to. All right. So click iTest, start iTest for me. And I'm gonna have y'all be 3 of my kids, basically. Make sure I'm up and running here. Actually, we're gonna be,
Using yours or mine?
I'm gonna copy your test, Jim. So, we'll go back.
I just need to change there to,
Tucker quizzes, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
right there.
practice Pearson, Hale. I'm gonna create the test session. I test, I don't want anything randomized. Create test session. Alright, to use the iTest, as soon as you hit log in, or start iTest, it's wanting your student ID. It's the student ID that all the kids have. If they don't know it, you can always go right here. It's this one in parentheses. It's the same one that's in Infinite Campus. So, Coach McCool, type in these numbers for me. You're going to be this student. 672832980. Coach Bevel, can you type in these numbers for me? 5937811192.
5937.
5937811192. Okay, and Jen 641071584. Now, as soon as y'all do that, just hit OK and move on to the next screen. And when it does that, you're going to see that pop up on the screen. Now, if I had multiple tests waiting on someone, maybe a kid was absent, it would show it right there, okay? And they could pick which one they wanted to take, or if it was from another class. Now, before you are allowed to take it, I'll let you look up here on the screen. You see this little stoplight? If it's in red, y'all can't take it. So I can make this over the weekend. A kid can't jump on and take the test at home unless this is in green. All right? So as soon as I put it open for testing, y'all are pretty much ready to roll. So if y'all click that test in front of you, just click it and start test.
The practice questions.
Your test, Pearson's.
It's not
Is it not showing up?
oh, unless it's
Hit back. Gosh. Wait a minute, which one did you take? Is this the practice one? Hold on. I'm sorry. I think I've done this wrong. Oh, yeah, you got Pearson? Yeah. His showed up. Pearson. Is yours showing up, Pearson?
Which kid did you want me to do?
Pearson. Next. Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay,
get you.
well, I'm just looking.
Yeah, just, it don't matter. Yeah, 64107
64107.
1584. And then y'all can begin your exam. Now, let's all miss the same question. Let's all miss number 4 or something.
Well, let's see which one I missed. We'll all miss that.
If we all miss 4, that will help me with my reporting categories. All right, so all these are the TEI questions that Jim made. All right, some of them are going to be making you select other answers. Some of them are going to make you select more, there'll be 6 options and you got to select one of them.
And we're getting number 4 wrong?
Yeah, let's try to get number 4 wrong if we can.
Because I can make an argument for number 2.
Let's try to, I guess, I mean,
I know, I'm stuck at number 2.
All right.
Come on, look at which one's shaded.
Select a map that's shaded associated with.
Well, I know, but
that's
I associate Georgia.
I was,
See,
I
with
thought
Andrew
Oklahoma.
Jackson
Okay.
and Cherokee
Right.
and Worcester and all of that.
But Georgia isn't there.
I know, so we
So
wanted
where
to
they-
go,
where
so
they
you
all-
wanted to be Oklahoma, I
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah.
All right, so.
well, I could always say Dinwiddie because it was General Winfield Scott, Virginia, because General Winfield Scott was the one that.
No.
All right, well, I don't care which ones we miss, just guess and move on. All right, as soon as you're done with your guessing.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make that.
No, you're fine.
See,
As
this-
soon as you're done, just submit your test. And then, Coach, you keep working on doing your stuff there while waiting on everybody else.
All right, so is question number 4, which explanation for the escalation, is that number 4?
Yes.
All right, so that's one we want to miss, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm
You
going
can miss
to answer the way my students were.
That's fine. I don't care how many you miss. really.
No.
It's more so for the
Because you-
reporting.
Think that they actually read a question, they're gonna see which one, so they're not gonna see exceptions, they're not gonna see the plural.
That's why I've been trying to practice them on my board in front of them a little bit.
It's really funny, I do this one and I even hear the saying in my head. All right, we got them all answered, I'm submitted.
Yep, you're gonna submit it.
Oh, you didn't give me my grade at the end.
It won't show you their kid to grade on the end. I'm gonna have to
Oh, you didn't collect that one?
just same thing up here like we do for reporting any other way. How you scanned them in the past. You use the copier?
No,
How do you scan your phone?
phone.
Okay, your
That's
phone.
what I had to do, because I had
Yeah.
Marcus's and I just had to get it
Yeah.
for,
Oh, so which three amendments is considered, so that's a PEI?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You got that wrong. I think this one it's wrong. So hit submit, and then just like this, or you submit 9 times, and then okay. Now, as soon as y'all do that, you got 2 options. You can close this back up at the end of the day to make sure kid back home doesn't, take it. You can put it back in red. It's done. Right here it shows me you 3 are done, and it showed me as you were working what number you were on. Okay, 1 complete, 2 complete, stuff like that. All right. So from here we got to figure out what we did. Reporting. All right. So we're going to click. You can put up your iPads. And you go to reporting, and you're going to go to assessment results. Assessment results is the only one we will ever use. I'll take it from you, just get them off your desk. Got enough there already. Yeah, so assessment results is the only one you'll ever use. And y'all will not be able to see my results. So really this is just more so paying attention on the board to follow along here. So, because if it's my test given, y'all can't go in and see what my kids did. All right. So, as soon as I do that, it came up, practice Pearson as well as test. I click my class average right there is an 80%. I feel pretty decent about my class there, at least my classes. I feel really good when I see 80% or more. All right. So, as soon as you click here, it does the drop down, it shows what kids tested. So there you go, there's Emily, Destiny, and Miss Bats right here. Those 3, they all got an 80, we all missed the same question. So, 2 things I do. You can go ahead, there's your grade, it's already done, you just move it right to the grade book. You don't have to calculate, you don't have to do a lot of stuff. There's two reports that I like to use, and I think they're the most valuable. This first one is student exam grade sheet. Again, I put that on your stuff for you to look at. I will email it to you so you have it. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know. But as soon as you go here, it shows you the 5 questions. It shows you what standard, 6A, 6B, 5A, 7A, all right? And then it shows you Bloom's taxonomy, what they selected, what the correct answer is, and across the board. But apparently this one doesn't show me. I don't know why that doesn't show. I guess it's TEI, right? It's bond 2 were multiple questions. Is that what it was? Multiple questions. So you guys, you don't see that. That would be something to, hey, go over with the class. So, all right, so that's one report. I print it out, give 1 to each of them so they can do their test corrections right there. They can see what they selected, what the correct answer is. Does that make sense? All right. The second report, which I find the most valuable for me as a teacher, is SOL and item analysis. As soon as you do that, you click this little, the little print thing, this PDF, and at the top you change this from standard to question, or you can leave it on standard. But I like to go individual question. So right here it tells me what question was associated with what standard and what % of my class over here got it right. So out of y'all all did really well there, but we did horrible on question 4. 0%, and we got 50% right for VUS 7. So we had 2 questions in VUS 7, if you look right here. 2 questions under the standard of VUS 7, we got 50% right. So I might, if you can just think about it in the terms of having a 25 question test, and you got 5 questions under 7A, and your class average is a 33%, that shows me right there I did something horribly wrong probably teaching 7A. That might be something I really need to review with. And then when I'm reviewing with my students, if I see I got a 90-some% or pretty much 87 or higher, I just kind of skip that question in the overall class review of why we missed it. I just go attack the ones that we missed collectively as a group. Does that make sense? So it allows us to be a little bit more specific on what we're struggling with. Again, the whole idea of common assessments, and I know that we're not technically on the same page here. Actually, we are on the same page, but for the purpose of this, we're not. You know, this is where the discussion would start. Jen's class has got 100% on 7A. Mine got 33%. Why? What did you do different, Jen? Could be nothing. Could be this. You know, it could be everything. I don't know. All right, but that's where the discussion comes in, and we say, well, how did you teach it? What do you say to them to make them know this stuff? So that's where the benefit for us comes in, and it allows us to be specific with our students on, you know, hey, you know, we're struggling here. You struggled. You got a pretty good grade on the test. You got an 87, but you missed the 3 questions you missed all came from this one SOL strain. We need to, you know, maybe do a little one-on-one review on that. Make sure you understand it. So does that make sense? All right.
You get to the form that you would have put in with your goals.
My goals? All right, I put, see, that's a little different. Because when you use a quick key or a release test, they don't let you print all, if you use the SOL release test, they don't let you print all of these different categories.
The only thing I could find was percentages.
That's pretty much all you can print. Now you can find for percentages, and then if you click this little button when you're doing here, let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. All right, SOL release test. All right, here's Pearson's. What is it? Is this the one?
That was, I don't know.
Yeah, this was a pretest. So 60 questions. As soon as you click on it right here, okay, so yeah, there's the percentages, student exam sheet. I think if you click here, it will break it down by standard. No, that's the percentages, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the percentage.
Yeah, that's the pretest.
That's the only thing I could ever come up with.
You're right. Well, SOL right there. It might show right here. If you click SOL on item analysis again. Yeah, of course. Go ahead. Question. Yeah, so right there it is. So,
It's the same thing.
well, it tells you this standard VUS2. There was 3 questions on the test given, 49% class average. So basically, you would look at, I guess, whichever one's the lowest. Here's 21% in what is that, like the Gilded Age? No, 9. Like World War I. World War I. So maybe part of your goal would be to assess World War I. 13 and 14 between the Cold War and Reaganomics and all that stuff. You know, that's 11%, so maybe your goal could be built off that. But it just shows you on pre-test, I guess, another thing to take consideration right there, there's 1 question on that, 11%. You got 9 questions here on Cold War and it's only 33%.
See, I was trying to do mine is at my AP class, and it doesn't exist. See, the only way it exists in there is, I mean, you can't take you have to create the test to have that
Right,
work.
and without the, by making a quick key, it doesn't associate what questions is assigned to what standard.
Right, and I couldn't do it for
Right.
AP since it's an entirely different thing anyway.
Right.
So that's the problem I had with trying to do my goals, so I couldn't.
Right.
Okay.
So I guess, does that answer your question? Oh, as best I can.
Well, it answers my question.
But it's still not what you need. Okay. Well, all right. So reporting the TEI questions. The last thing I want to talk about is the TEI questions. Those are the ones you just took. Do y'all have any questions about what they do? I mean, the MC multiple choice is more than 5 answers or 4 answers, and the HS is the multiple. Pick 3 or 4 different things, like 13, 14, 15 minutes, Civil War amendments, whatever they were. Okay. You feel pretty confident, don't you? You've been using this now.
Yeah, and I've already.
Okay. All right. But you had some questions about TEI the other day.
It was more being able to, 'cause I kind of realized that, no, we can't print it, so I was,
Right.
you know, when we have, again, kind of going back to, we have limited computers, how do we schedule when, you know, all that stuff to be able to,
Right.
and if it's, you know, does it work on their student tablets or not? Because I heard in the beginning it wasn't working on their student tablets, so I don't know if it is.
I'm under the impression it does, but the thing is
Not everyone
the
has it.
kids don't have them. So if I'm going to
Yeah.
use it, I just go get it at a
But
library.
also with the TEI for their, because I know they're showing up on this spring's SOLs.
Right.
Are those the field questions,
That's
or
all I
are
don't
they
know.
actually counting? Because that's a
Do you
major
know that
issue.
answer, Coach? Because she
I
asked
thought
me,
they-
I
I
didn't,
thought they were counting.
yeah, I didn't know if they were filled or not, but, and I have no idea what percentage make up the new test. I mean, is it gonna be 15 of them, is there gonna be
Yeah.
half of them?
I got 2 emails I haven't broken down yet, but my impression was that they were counting.
They're
Okay.
counting.
Yeah, when I was reading the SOL thing to the kids, about what to do, I accidentally skipped to the spring section, and one of the questions for practice in the intro was a TEI question. So I know they're definitely on, but I just didn't know how many, or if it would be field questions like you said.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out soon. Do y'all have any questions about? I know that was we went through a lot. I'm gonna definitely do this. I did it. Y'all did it together a little bit. I'm gonna, if this is something you want to use, Coach, I know this you're kind of hesitant with the different classes and whatnot, and maybe not be challenging like you stressed. I can come in here and make sure we do this a few times to you feel comfortable building tests and giving tests and stuff like that.
It's not a question of that. I mean, no, you know me, I love this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the practicality. Again, as department chair, it's gonna be my job to make sure everybody's doing all this stuff and everybody's doing it right. And quite frankly, I don't wanna fake it with somebody. If this isn't the right thing for them, it's not the right thing for them. And, you're talking about checking it, you going into the library and checking out the iPads.
Yeah,
How many cards we got?
one. I know.
We got
And
one
then we
card.
gotta compete with English with them doing their
Mhm.
research papers.
And I got no problem with all of that, but it's just, so, what we probably are gonna, if things don't get better, and I don't see them getting better technologically by next September, what we're gonna have to do this summer is create a different TEI practice sessions, plural, and on selected days, we do this, rather than every time you're getting a test. I just don't see how it's practical.
I think it's exactly right. I think it's the only way. If we're going to have to do common tests, just like you said, we're gonna have to make our own. I've started doing it a little bit just for mine. Like I did 2, 3, 4, 5 or
No,
something.
you
Just
do,
did,
for the TEI?
yeah, for practice, and I just kind of found every one of them in there, threw them in there, so they could at least start visibly seeing them. But
Well, for the tape or not for the tape, what I think we need to do is, I think we need to, and I love the test that you made, God bless you, well done, and all that stuff. But I think that what we need to do is when we finally get the new standards, which we really have them already, we need to go in there and make a vocabulary list. In other words, is John Locke on there, is Tom Hobbes on there, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
We need to chart that out, and then from the chart, we need to make the tests. And we need to be able to reference everything that we did vis-a-vis the test, and, be able to go back and say, you're weak on Thomas Hobbes. It's not that you're weak on 4B.
right, I'm 1,000% with you there. I think.
But that being the case, all these tests have to be made again from scratch.
Well, I did them all anyways, and just so I could get used to the
No, I'm
program and
saying,
whatnot.
no, but I'm just dreading June,
Right.
because this is gonna have to happen if we're gonna do this, but the problem again is, are we coming up with 5 different sets of tests? And
Right.
quite frankly, yes, we
should.
are. Yes, we are, but.
That takes a lot of the value of that common test
Well, there is
discussion.
no
If I
common
have,
test.
that's what I'm saying, because all of ours are going to be different.
And again, it sounds great, as long as the 5 G teachers can get together, the 5 C teachers can get together, and you're really, but, you're on an island by yourself with the AP. Jen's on an island, I'm on an island with my APs. And quite frankly, Rick and I are on an island with our ALs. And so, this is all great.
Right. Yeah, I completely get it, completely understand.
But no, I don't know if you do completely get it.
No,
Give up your June.
I know. I get what needs to happen. I'm not happy about what needs to happen.
Maybe not the first
But,
week, I might not be here that Friday.
This
I
is
gotta
here
go
we
to
go.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Massachusetts for a wedding.
No, here's the problem. But anyway.
Yeah, I know. Coach Bell, do you feel okay right now with building your tests? I know you've been doing it. Do you feel somewhat okay?
Yeah, I am okay.
I will happily check in with you tomorrow
Yeah,
and,
well,
and moving forward.
We'll
Just
get together, get with you first period tomorrow.
yeah, first few times you're making it and you feel, hey, just make sure I'm doing this
Yeah,
right.
appreciate
No
it.
problem with it.
Yeah, we'll get through.
And let me interject for the camera's sake. I don't mean give up your June like, oh, you're losing your summer. I mean, when are we all gonna be able to get together up there? Because that's where they want everybody to be, and I got that, I don't have a problem with that. When are we all gonna be able to get together and do that and make this thing work?
I don't know.
I don't
That's a
know.
good question. I don't know.
So that's the thing, it's the, you know, it's logistics of it all.
Right.
Okay.
Well, thank you all.
Appreciate it.
If y'all have any questions, please let me know, and I'll do everything I can to help you out.
No problem.